Think about the last time you brushed your teeth, whether it was this morning, last night, an hour ago. What you probably didn't think when you were brushing it is that you were protecting your brain. Normally, we would brush to avoid cavities or because our dentist told us that we have too much plaque buildup. But what if I told you that it actually could protect against Alzheimer's disease? My name is Natalie MIC, and I started dental school this summer, but what I realized is that dentistry is actually not about your smiles and cosmetics. Instead, it's about everything. There seems to be this hidden connection between our brain and our oral microbiome. With more recent research, they've actually found that this connection plays a role in Down syndrome, bipolar disorders, mood disorders, and specifically for this talk, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease actually impacts 6.9 million Americans. That's like wiping out the entire state of Massachusetts. Yes, it's a devastating disease, and yes, we don't fully understand what causes it. But the interesting part is that in a study done in 2019, they found that P. gingivalis, which is a bacteria that's responsible for gum disease, was in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. They also found the specific toxins called gingipans in the brain also, which was linked to neuron death, brain inflammation, and plaque buildup. Finally, they also saw that when we block these toxins with small molecules, it actually reduced brain damage. Knowing this information, maybe we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe Alzheimer's doesn't actually start in the brain, and instead it starts in the mouth. In another study, they found that people with chronic gum disease actually had significantly higher levels of amyloid beta, which is the brain plaque that defines Alzheimer's disease. They also found that your oral microbiome can play a role in heart disease, diabetes, and preterm birth. Now, this being said, the tiny microbes in our mouths are actually what's shaping our entire health. And instead, we're treating dentistry as if it's a cosmetic service. We're going in for our cleanings every 6 months while our body is fighting off bacteria that could head straight for our brain. The issue is dentistry and medicine is divided like church and state. They have 2 different degrees, 2 different insurance policies, but the one thing that isn't different about them is that our body does not differentiate. Our bacteria is going to continue to grow no matter where, it's going to spread, and our systems are going to keep working. In a specific review of systemic diseases in your oral health, they called for a new model of health. They formed a futuristic one where dentists are actually a part of the team that prevents heart attacks and strokes and even dementia. And yet, we continue to keep them separate. Keeping this disconnect isn't only inefficient for us, but it's also very dangerous. This being said, imagine a future where your dentist doesn't only fill cavities. Instead, they help you detect the early signs of Alzheimer's, or they may refer you to a doctor for diabetes screenings. A study suggests that your oral bacteria can actually influence how we metabolize sugar, which also works in obesity and insulin resistance. Another points to the early life exposure to microbes is actually a predictor of lifelong disease risk. Now, in other words, we must integrate medicine and dentistry. In doing so, we could use early detection, shared knowledge, and preventative solutions, all which can lead to healthier futures. So if Alzheimer's might start in the mouth, why are we still treating gum disease like an afterthought or a problem for later? Now, if brushing your teeth could protect your brain, would you do it differently? Personally, I would. And as a future dentist, I not only want to fix people's teeth and give them good cleanings, but I also want them to open their minds. One thing we all need to realize is that our mouths actually hold the key to some of the world's most pressing health challenges. And therefore, our oral microbe isn't just about teeth. Instead, we're brushing for our futures. And here are my references. Thank you.